Well, right here mid-sentence. Well, this being what we have to deal with, pine trees. Cedars, they're not pines, they're cedar trees. Red cedar, small size. And, but the problem at hand is I want to move a 20-foot container through this woods and put it right down yonder. All I've got to move that 20-foot container with is that 8N Ford tractor. I was wondering if I could pick that, if that 20-foot container, could I pick it up on the drawbar? Does it have enough horsepower? What kind of setup am I going to have to come up with? I mean, this is the plan. It's on the table I'm talking about. Is to move that 20-foot container, out in that area there. So that's on the first study about. Oh yeah, I had to fix that hydraulic cylinder that's been leaking on that old Ford tractor. Front left side, that big long one. Get that done. You get home from Portland, and this right here is what you got. John Deere. That's a little crooked on that other side over there. The main thing is the width of them skids straight across from one another on the outside dimension. Back pretty well. Could say them's original. Same patina as the engine. So, I'm gonna get one of them welding kit things available to end up with a cart to go underneath this engine. They're heavy, I'm here to tell you. This engine ain't got no vent on that crankcase cover there. We just will build a cart for that one up there too. Let's get that done. That's 9 inches across on the outside on that end right there, 1/2 horsepower. As is the John Deere. So to use these old skids, I'm just going to go about it like that. Drill a couple holes straight down through yonder. And also, the front will be the same. That'll be on the bottom of them rollers right there. 2 bolts each side going down through there to hold it on. Well, to answer a conversation up at the Portland Gas Engine Show with Mr. David Cave. Well, I hope I got that right. The question is a International R rotary magneto. It's just a bigger version of the L. But the question was, does this magnet, is it a 2-piece or a 1-piece? And it's a 2-piece. You can see the dividing line inside. So, but you know, to confirm if that thing's any good, that's a little 12-volt LED bulb. I'll show you something. Okay, I don't think we have to turn the light down or nothing. Let's rotate that. I'll turn the gear there, and you watch that little green bulb right there. See if it lights up. So, see, this mag would actually work as a flipper mag. If you have a lever coming out with a couple of springs on it to flip it kind of fastly, because you only have to turn past whatever that call at. And I met a gentleman. I met a gentleman up there to Portland at that Tri-State show. Mr. David Cave with some alphabet after his name. A learned person, gentleman. And David would know the technical part of this. All I know is it's all it takes. You don't have to make a full circle. When it breaks magnetism, discharge, I think. I'm not sure. Interesting. But it is a 2-pole magneto, Type R International. Battery in a coil, goes in a couple on hand to finish. To move on from one project to another, you know, and to say thank you. You know, I've come to meet a young lad, Lance. You know, it's a long a story, the way people meet people. But our paths crossed, I think, at an auction sale. But you know, Lance comes to the Portland show with David, and Lance gifted me this year, my birthday being about the time that show is, and I'd like to say thank you, Lance. You know, man, best of luck down there at the auction barn. You know, and there's a little bit of crank. There's a little crank handle. I done found it earlier in the day. Right back there in the corner, fixed to the cardboard box. There's a little crank handle in there. You get it out and put up there. You know, it's supposed to start and run with a little gas, I'd say. Thank you now. I'll get that down there in the library. Half-Mirror, Middle Tennessee. Thank you now. Well, I had kind of left this on the wayside over and not followed up on it, but I was questioned by a couple of persons, as to how much it cost to rebuild that Bunyan engine, and I've kept all the digits down there. And I'm going to add all this up in sensible numbers. I even wrote down some time I spent on it. I'll bring that up to date. But it's 1927, 3 horsepower, and I paid $500 for it. It was a complete engine with EK on the original cart. I cut the cart down, shortened it and lessened it and all, and added that to it. But each part on it, even if I could make the part, I figured it had a value. So I used the internet prices, you know, what could I buy one for? And I did that. Like, you know, one of the first things I bought was a gas tank, was $118.28. You know, if you're going to rebuild that engine to any degree of restoration, you're going to have a gas tank. You know, JB Weld, you know, don't even think about it. Stuff like that. Fix it correctly, and that's what I did here. I cannot think of anything else I could do to that engine. It's all documented here and by video. So I'll get this tallied up and have an exact amount of how much we spent on it. But you know, just like 4 greasers was $160. It didn't have any. So, you know, breather $45. So we'll get all that added up. Actually, it was a complete, well, everything. You don't pick any one thing out because it's all there. So I'll get them numbers and we'll get back to that. Well, what I made today, went on ahead and welded it up, ground them wheels down, finished them up a little bit, get them ready for the paint shop. You know, new set of wheels there, cast iron, roller bearings, 11 gauge square tubing, 3/4 inch axles, 33 inches long on them pieces of wood there. They didn't come with that metal kit. I added them on there myself. That handle worked out real good right there. Made a jig for it. 9 inches across on the outside. Now we get some paint on that right there. I'll turn it in for grade.